Now to enable the M2M, we have the protocol that is called MQTT protocol. Now what happened in the data communication in the internet, right? So in the internet, what we use is for the data communication, we use HTTP technology, that hypertext transmission protocol, right? Uh, this hypertext transmission protocol, HTTP, uh, is the standard one, and we know that there are different layers available. So we use a TCP/IP layer, which has 5 layers, and application layer are generating the data, but each and every layer is adding some header and trailer into the data, and the payload is going to be increased. What happened into the IoT infrastructure? In the IoT, we do not send a huge amount of data. We used to send only a small amount of data. Let's say if I want to communicate with these three appliances, so what I required that I know that the AC is on or not, so it will be 0 or 1. If the geyser is on or not, it will be 0 and 1. The washing machine is on or not, it will be 0 or 1, right? So it is not much amount of data that we are talking about. Or let's say if the sensor data we are generating, so sensor data will be of maybe 16 bit or maybe the 32 bit of data, it is enough to communicate, right? So why to use the traditional HTTP technology, which is having a header and trailer of which is more than the payload, the actual data. So then the term came, which is called MQTT, and this is very much famous technology that we use in machine to machine communication or Internet of Things. Okay. So MQTT is the the full form of MQTT is Message Queuing Telemetry Transmission Protocol. In MQTT is a machine-to-machine communication protocol, Internet of Things connectivity protocol, we can say, because it is highly used in the Internet of Things or the IoT. It is an extremely lightweight publish subscribe communication model. So we have this model is based on the public subscribe model. I'll let you know that what is that. It is useful for the communication and remote location, where a small code footprint in order of the day. So it says that it is very much famous and it can be useful for the communication in the remote locations. And when we need a small amount of data to be communicated, we can use it. MQTT is a telemetry protocol based on the public subscribe communication model. It was initially developed by IBM and is of the Organization of Advancement and Structured Information Standard is now with the release of version 3.1.1 in 2013. Formerly, the acronym MQTT stood for Message Queuing Telemetry Transport. Okay. So this is the full form of MQTT, Message Queuing Telemetry Transport Protocol. This lightweight, open, simple, and easy to use protocol is suitable for constrained environment and applicable in an machine-to-machine and IoT context. This MQTT tools have minimal code footprint and allow optimal bandwidth usage. It runs on TCP by default, but can be run on any ordered lossless bidirectional protocol. So this is the specification of MQTT. The MQTT is very much famous in machine-to-machine communication in the IoT context. And this MQTT tool, they will use a very uh, low bandwidth, because I told you like these IoT is having small amount of data to communicate, and it is not used to add much header into the data, or the payload is not going to increase much like HTTP protocol. And definitely the background of MQTT is TCP protocol, or TCP by default, but we can run in any order. It is a lossless protocol and it works in a bidirectional protocol manner. Now let's talk about that, how the structure of MQTT look like. So MQTT nodes communicate in a one-to-many mapping model, where a message sent by one client, the publisher, is delivered to many clients. Like we have a broker in between, right? And the client are the subscriber. So there is a so one of the client could be taken as a publisher, and other client will be taken as a subscriber. So there are two entity, publisher and subscriber. You can see these is also a device and these are also the device, or the human, right? So this is also a device, this is also a device, and in between we have the broker or the cloud. Okay, so what happened, the publisher will publish the data into the cloud, and the other subscriber who subscribe for a particular data will be communicate with the broker. If we take this particular example, let's say there is a publisher or a machine which is generating the data regarding weather temperature, which is called M1. Publisher 2 is there, which is also generating the data related to the weather. It is for the humidity, and it is generating the temperature, it is generating the humidity. The hash name or the short name has been given as M1 and M2. So this message is M1, or this data is M1 and this data is M2. Now, whatever client that they required the data will be taken, the subscription that they required M1 data, or they required M2 data, or they required both the data. So in that way, the subscriber will be subscribed based on their requirement. So here, let's say subscriber 1 required the weather data, that is only temperature. Subscriber 2 required weather data, that is only humidity. And subscriber 3 required both the data from the broker. So publisher will publish whatever data is and putting into the broker, and based on the requirement of the subscriber, they will collect the data. This is how the message will be communicated. It is not like the publisher, if it is requiring M2 data and subscriber is required M2 data, so they will communicate it directly. No, this is not the thing that is happening. Okay. So the data that is generated will be put into the broker, or there is a cloud in which the term has been written broker. Broker will collect the data, and it is not going to give the whole data, right? It will just tell the subscriber that they have received the data regarding the temperature. It will not give the temperature data. But when the subscriber needed that particular data, it will make a request, and then the broker will send the actual data. So that is the phenomena behind the MQTT protocol, which is message queuing telemetry transport, or telemetry transmission protocol. The message are extended via the central node known as the broker. So here we have some sort of machines or the client, which is called publisher, some sort of machine or the client, which is called subscriber. And in between we have the broker, which will help for the smooth communication. Now let's see the MQTT packet structure, that what is the size of MQTT packet. So the MQTT packet consists of the fixed header with the minimum size of 2 byte and the maximum size of 5 bytes. So it will vary from 2 to 5 bytes, okay, which make it very lightweight compared to other protocol like HTTP or XMPP, extensible message and presence protocol that we are using in the web communication. After the fixed header, variable header elements and optional payload may follow. So we have the header, right? And apart from the header, we may have the variable headers elements and the optional payload. So the actual data that will be there. The first byte of the header comprises of 4-bit packet type. So let's see what happened in the header. So we know that the header will vary from 2 byte to 5 byte. So it will be a minimum 2 byte. So let's see in 2 byte, it means in 16-bit, what are the different classification. So in 16-bit, 4-bit will be given to the packet type. So which type of packet we are sending. So for the packet type, we have 4-bit. Few flags known as the header flags. So flag will take, so it will be flag is 0 or 1. So it will might be take 1 or 2 bits. The second byte onwards represents the remaining length covering the optional header and payload, including the fixed header. So let's see in this. So remaining, we have the packet type, which is of 4 byte, and the flags, which is of 4 byte. So it is of 1 byte. Okay. Now the next is the remaining length. So what is the remaining length of the packet will be putted here in the 1 to 4 byte. Okay. So either we'll use 1 byte to represent what is the length, or up to the 4 byte we can use it. Then we have optional header elements, in which we have the protocol flag, keep alive protocol. So we have different type of other usage that we can use here. It is of definitely of 1 byte. Then there is a payload, that is client ID, will message, username, or the password will be here. It is again in the form of. So the total size of the MQTT will be very less, and it will be maybe um, 20 to 40 bytes, not more than that. So let's see further. So MQTT uses a variable length scheme to fit the remaining length, which is with a minimum of 1 byte and up to 4 byte encoded as follows. The most significant bit of each byte is considered as the continuation bit, where 0 means the last byte of the length and 1 means the length follows the next byte. The continuation bit of the fourth byte must be 0. Values up to 127 are encoded in the single byte with the continuous bit as 0. For example, the value of 390 is encoded is encoded is in that particular form, which is the is a constant bit. Then we have least significant byte, and the total bits are 16 in 1 byte. So in 1 byte, this is the classification 1, 1, and 6. So it will be 8-bit. Or we can do the classification in that way. Okay, so we'll not go into that. Let's go to different type of packet type we have. So you can see there are different type of packet type, and we can represent it to up to 15, and 15 could be represented in how many bits. So we need required 4-bit to represent the 15, right? So if we'll take 1, 1, 1, 1, it will be 15. So with the help of 4-bit, we can represent the packet type, and these are the different packet type, like for the reserve, connected, connect, acknowledgement, publish, then there's a public there, and another type of that. Then subscribe. There are different type of packet that is used in MQTT is listed here. So these are all related to the MQTT protocol.